Okay, so real quick, the supply and demand zones and how you find those. There are indicators on TradingView that you can use. Like over here, I'm using Lux Algo's. Let me see what the name of it is. Support and resistance levels with breaks by Lux Algo. So when you type that in, look for the one that says support and resistance levels with breaks by Lux Algo, and the users are 19,587. So you'll add that to your chart, and it'll look like this. Now, I'm using Algo Pro, so it pretty much is about the same. It kind of shows, instead of just lines, it shows the zones. And that's totally fine too, that you're using Lux Algo. And just as long as you can see the zones and the areas, that's all that really matters, right? So yesterday in the trading day, we saw a breakout for Tesla go up to 205, and then it hung back down. So there is the supply area, right? That's institutions giving up their shares to other retail traders or giving it to the market. The demand is when there's buying power or buying necessities. So all the institutions, retail traders are starting to buy, so there's demand. So what happens when the demand zones are hit? Obviously, there are breakouts. So this is giving this area right here yesterday at 7:30, because this was the highest high at 4:15, and it broke that. So it's going to say, okay, here's probably a resistance zone, right? If you break that, then it's a buy. 202 or 201.60, 201.45 up to 205.29. So that's where the new resistance comes in at. Right here. Or not resistance, support, sorry. So this becomes support once resistance zones are broke. If they are broke to the downside, resistance zones are now, or support zones, sorry, it's flipped. So the old support zones, for instance, like if this one gets broken and we come down here, this is more likely probably now a new resistance zone or supply zone, right? So this will turn red, or it will give you a new line. I haven't really used this as much as the Algo Pro. The Algo Pro, when I bought it, was $179 lifetime. Now I think it's monthly. I don't think it's that high, but you do still have to reoccur. It's reoccurring. They may charge $179 for the year, but I've got it for lifetime. So anyways, if you want to purchase this, it comes with the sell indicators. There's a lot of stuff to it, yes. For instance, if I go into, let me just show you real quick. This is all you get, all these different, from right here all the way up. So all these are algorithms or oscillators. And then the one that I'm using, you go into the settings, and it literally has all of this that you can adjust, check mark, not use, whatever you want to do. I've went in, they have a Discord, and I found some parameters that one of the users set up for Tesla, and it does work pretty good. I'll show you the back test. But anyways, you literally can adjust these inputs. You can have the indicators come in based off chandelier exit, VWAPs, bar extenders, range detectors, Heikin-Ashi candlestick oscillator. I've got mine set to half trend. And then obviously these are left checked. But anyways, you can see all the inputs that you can adjust for this indicator and this algorithm, which is pretty powerful. But anyways, so the supply zones are going to change. And this is why it's kind of difficult, because yesterday I was trading around this time, and I knew that we were coming back down. Well, the supply zone was right around in this area, right? This is the last consolidation period, and then we broke out. And I was thinking, okay, should I buy a put? Because if it comes on down to 200, and this was not here yesterday, this green zone. If this comes on down will be right about the new consolidation period. And I think there was a buy zone right here on the 5-minute. And I think the 15-minute too. Okay, but then I was like, you know what? Every time I buy an option, for some reason it goes against me for short amount of time, or, forever. And it's a losing trade. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Eventually this will come down, which it has now. But yesterday during the trading period, it did not. It was working its way here. And I was like, you know what? For some reason, something tells me it's going to reverse up just for a short amount of time. So from right here, 202 to 203.72, it did. And it did twice. And then it broke down. So this hit once, failed, came back down. This failed, but then it broke. But if you take a look at the 1-minute chart, and this is not going to show now because it's changed. But let's go to yesterday's. So around right here, 12:30 and 1:30, I was looking at this, right? And I was like, okay, it's just going to go back up. And surely enough, it did. Because yesterday, and it's not showing, there was this right here. This supplies or demand zone was right here. Why? Because this is where people started buying. And the bar even showed up. So this is where trades go against you for that short amount of period, because I don't want to say this, but unfortunately I have to, because it's true. You have to look at 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hourly, and daily. Daily is going to show you the old term or the long term, right? We see Tesla is probably going to go back up. RSI is above the 50, the 50 mark, headed up. So that's a good sign. We came out of the breakout zone, or the demand zone. We came out of the green. We're headed up to the red. This is on the daily. Things happen between time periods, right? You could be a long-term trader and just wait, but if you want more profit, you can come to the 1 hourly and see what's happening. Still looks like a bull. We have lower lows or higher lows. This one's higher than that one, so we're on an uptrend there. The algorithm will kick in here in a second. Okay, so, and now we see different supply and demand zones. We see demand here. We see supply here. We see demand here, and demand here. And what's that mean? So if this breaks through, then the next zone, the institutions were buying and selling, which obviously we're buying, we're right here. They have their orders in to be right here. We have the next level right here. So we would drop down to the next level on the 1 hourly. But if you want to pick up those smaller pivotal points, and in options, remember, every point that the price changes, you're picking up that delta and then some, gamma and whatnot. So yesterday I was trading the 5 minute, and to back up, I knew that we would have a small, not a bull flag, but it looked like it was going to be a bull flag. And I was like, well, I'll just buy a call option instead. And guess what? It went up from 202 to 203, and I made some profit there. And then the rest of the day, I was like, okay, we're in sideways action. I don't know what it's going to do. It's becoming 2 o'clock. The market probably may sell off, in which it did. But then, if I'm holding overnight, what happens? You get caught in the aftermarket and pre-market trading, and you just don't know where the price will open up at. It could be way above your put option, which in this case, if I bought a put here, and didn't take my profit, and now it's losing when it could have just been a winning. So intraday, I don't like to hold options overnight, to sum it up. If I'm trading long term, you're just going to see losses, and I don't like to see it. I like to always be in the green, and that's every trader's dream, and it's never going to happen. You're always going to have losers. But like right here, that's a good spike from 201 to 204. So going into pre-market, I was like, okay, the market's going to sell off at the bell, and it still could. We're hitting we're hitting our supply area, and we're testing it twice. So will this break out and be a bull day, or will it crash down to 201? You could put tight stop losses for your puts and make it at 204, whatever, right here, 204.67, 204.76, and then write it down for the day to 201, and you pick up 3 points. And so it really just depends on a lot of variables. I mean, the news, Tesla stock is falling. It's been having a good run. It doesn't matter to me. The Elon Musk effect, how is his tech dominance reshaping these REITs? Tesla under fire again in Germany as local authorities accuse EV giant of polluting Berlin's drinking water supply. Okay, so there's some negativity right there. The other news was just BS. Tesla under fire. Ross Gerber suspects Elon Musk has a little ego thing going on with BYD's Yang Wang, whatever, after Tesla CEO promised a speedier Roadster. It doesn't really matter. Xpeng and Volkswagen spice up partnership for B-class EV development and joint sourcing program. So we know this is probably leaving out Tesla Roadster with SpaceX techs. And so there's a little negative news, but not much. So will this break out? It really, really, really just depends on what the institutions want to do. And obviously it looks like it has 204.91. So going up to 5 minute, we're going to see the next supply zone is right around this area, 205.40. So to pick up, what are we at? 204 current. Come on. 204.63, 204.64. And to go up to 205.55, if it could, if this stays right around here, you could pick up a point and get that next supply area. But really, you're already only at 848, and we're about to break, and institutions probably already have their orders ready. So, and they're trading. So it's really difficult lately to trade during the day. Because there's a lot of pre-market and post-market trading going on, and it seems to settle off and to really get a hard zone, because that first hour, if you're, like they say, wait for the first hour to see where the market highs and lows are and then trade based off of that. This one at 11:30, this one at 9:30, if you waited 10:30, you're right here. And you're like, okay, well, we're coming down. Let's go ahead and buy a put. That's a really good move. But a lot of price action happens right before the bell. And if you're trading at the bell, I've been lucky several weeks ago when I was had put options because we've already broke up to highs. And then I was like, okay, well, we're just going to crash long term because long term shows a bear. And it did. And I got lucky a couple times. And then there was other times I got burned. So, all I'm saying is just be wise in waiting for at least, the first hour to see the overall market direction, because that's what it looks like what's happening in Tesla right now. The first hour determines where you're headed. Now, here's one that, 10:30, it looks like we're going down. So, you could have picked up a couple more points, and then the rest of the day was going back up. It closed out at 193-ish, 193.76. Pre-market went up 195, and then it broke back down to 187. So Tesla is not an easy giant to trade. You really got to pay attention to, again, your supply and demand zones. And institutions will definitely create new ones in 1 minute time frames, 5 minute time frames, 15 minute time frames. And it's just a matter of being able to read the trend, right? You're on a decline right here. So if you have market structure breaks, then you're going to the next demand zone, and so on and so on. Okay. So anyways, I hope this video helped and made sense on supply and demand zones. You really just got to watch. You could trade, again, you can trade long term. If you're going to see short losses, don't freak out, because this is why. In your 1 minute charts, you have these areas, these key areas being hit, and they're reversing. Overall, again, if you just look at 5 and 15 minutes and have that mindset, knowing that, yes, if you buy a call option or buy a put option, you may see red, and then it could reverse against you. If you have tight stop losses, they're probably going to get hit. So the risk exposure here and options are definitely, unfortunately, more. The spread is a lot further, looser stop losses. So anyways, I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, as always, reach out.